So I wanted to try and capture and condense a number of conversations that I've been having this week with early founders. And I have spoken with people who are, in particular, at the stage of looking to raise that first round of funding. And so, this is the point where everything is as fuzzy as it possibly can be. You've probably got an idea of what you want to do, and the art is to convince the investor that you know exactly where you're doing and exactly how you're going to do it. There are 4 key areas that I always push on. The first one is the effective articulation of why the team is going to be successful. And so often people just breeze past the team. But practically, the team is going to be what drives success in all situations. The quality of the team and the degree of that success is going to be driven by the quality of the idea. But success will be driven by the team. And the team I think of is in 3 categories. Category 1 is a previous founder. And if you've got previous experience, it's kind of like, okay, I can see that this person has been successful or unsuccessful. And there's a clear articulation around why that is going to drive future success. The second part is energy. And this concept is critical because you have those founders who are high energy, and you just know they're going to be relentless. You know they're going to be ultimately resilient. You know they're going to be able to defeat every single obstacle that comes in front of them. And then there's the third type, which I'll call the high skill or academic founder, which is this person is probably one of the few people, if not the only person in the world, who's going to be capable of delivering on probably what's quite a niche or esoteric part of some ecosystem. Then we move on to the problem space. And the problem space is something that it's probably one of the most difficult things to focus on. But you just got to keep it super simple and articulate it in probably a this is one problem that I'm looking to solve statement. And this might be the roads are blighted by environmental waste, for instance. Litter on the roadside's a problem and I'm looking to fix that. It might be purchase order systems currently take 10 steps to process an invoice. This is a problem, it's inefficient, and it needs to be reduced. It might be something along the lines of, this system here carries so much value that the level of security that sits within that system is unacceptable, and what we need to do is reinforce that system. The problem is that that we don't have the tools or the service which allows us to do that at scale. And so articulating that one problem that resonates with the investor. It's like, yeah, I get it. That is a problem that obviously exists in society. And then the third category is the market. And like to some degree, if it's an industry where the investor is probably also going to be a customer, it's very, very easy. But if it's not that, and then you can just kind of, have a general chat about the specific problem. If it's not something like that, then obviously you need to have validation from the market. And what that validation invariably looks like is a story about a conversation that you've had with a few people. And that's probably all you need. So it's being able to articulate those stories effectively, but then obviously in the ultimate situation, it's when you can genuinely say that these people you've been talking to have all, without exception, said, if you build it, I will buy it. So it's almost like you haven't made any sales yet, you haven't got any revenue, but you're able to say to people, there is a market for this. I know it. Absolutely deep set knowledge that somebody will buy this product because I've had enough conversations to validate that. And more often than not, it's the way you say something like that that's going to really drive the passion or the engagement and interest from an investor. And then and everything I've described so far is kind of downside limitation. So it's like, if you've ticked those 3 boxes, it's kind of like, okay, I think that if I put my money into this business, it's not going to go to zero. And then it's like, so what? Like, why do I invest into this business over any other business that I'm talking to? Now you're in the, like, what is the size of the opportunity, or what is the impact on humanity of this organization? And that's when you get into the world of, okay, this is the simple problem, and here's perhaps how we're going to think about solving it. But what are all of the kind of adjacent issues that sit associated with this problem, and how does it drive like a broader ecosystem shift? And that is when you get in the world of, like, you can say things like, imagine a world where, and I don't know specifically what that's going to look like, but those are the kind of statements where it's like, oh, wow, yeah, I can imagine that that's what the future's going to look like. And I can imagine that what you're proposing to do is one part of how it's going to fit into that future. And I can see where you're going with this. And then the more mercenary side of an investor is going to go, oh, I can probably see why this is going to be like a multi-billion-dollar industry. So those are the 4 categories. Let me know what you think about them. Excited to hear if any of those are useful, resonate, or help, or if you think that that something's missed. Happy to consider it, and maybe we'll add it in on the next one. Thanks a lot.